Tractatus 5, De Gigantibus, or on Giants, from the book on Nymphs, Sylphs, Pygmies, etc. by Paracelsus. You must know further that there are two more kinds that belong to the kind of nymphs and pygmies, namely the giants and dwarfs, who are not born from Adam. Although it is a fact that Saint Christopher was a giant, yet he took birth from a human seed, and hence we shall not write about him. But we shall write about the other giants referred to in the stories of Bern, Zignat, Bildbrand, and Dietrich, etc. Also about the dwarf Laurin and others. Such stories are frequently rejected, but you must know that the same people who reject them reject also much more important truth. They distort Christ's word and put themselves into the fore. They have much more right to disregard things that have happened in this field, but their disbelief in all the same. The giants are too strong and too strange for us. They are beyond us, and hence we are inclined to deny their existence and to consider them ghosts. The same we wish to do with Christ. He also is too strong for us, and we are inclined to do with him as with the giants, so as to have nobody who could oppose us, or nobody whom we might fear. The beginning of theology is the enlightenment of man. He must be enlightened in all things of nature and must know them. Once he has judgment in these matters, he cannot take Christ and the scriptures lightly, but from necessity of the inborn light, he must esteem them more highly and interpret them more broadly than the others who see nothing but letters. This is why blind people should not touch the scriptures, but only those who have grown up in the light of men. I will repeat this because this is important to understand, and here Paracelsus does not mean blind people who actually are physically blind. This is why blind people should not touch the scriptures, but only those who have grown up in the light of men. The others are inclined to become seducers and heretics. Therefore, learn and experience what there is to learn and experience, and do not tumble into the scriptures, violating what seems incredible to your inexperienced brains. And so you must have knowledge of these two kinds, giants and dwarfs. The giants come from the forest people, and the dwarfs from the earth mannikins. They are monstra, like the sirens from the nymphs. Thus these beings are born, and although it happens rarely, yet it happens too often and under such marvelous circumstances that their existence is well known and remembered. They are strange in size and strength, giants and dwarfs. There is nothing to tell about their resembling the kind of the parents from whom they were born, because they do not resemble their kind, but are monstra, beyond the kind from which they come. Yet they were born in vain, but from divine order, to signify something, and the significance is not small, but great. Hence, it is fair to describe their extraction and, on some other occasion, to describe also their significance, why God has let them be born from people, from what causes. Now, here by extraction, Paracelsus means that he will go into why the giants had to disappear from planet Earth. It is not necessary to discuss this here, for it is my intention to discover the origin of all these creatures. We shall have to tell how strange and odd they appear, with stories and deeds that they performed on earth, and also how the monstra that God ordered on purpose have died out on earth and without hairs of their body and blood, so that both giants and dwarfs are gone and have died out. First, we must write about their soul, how we can find out about it. It is thus: the parents from whom they are born have no soul, yet they are human, as has been said before. From beasts that are human, these beings are born. From that it follows that they have not inherited souls from their parents. They are monstra. In addition, it is peculiar to their nature that they have less than their parents. From these two arguments, it follows that they had no soul, in spite of the fact that they have been found performing good deeds, works, etc., sincere to each other, and with qualities usually associated with the soul. But just as the parrot can talk and the monkey imitate man, and many such things occur, their innate nature is equally able to perform and accomplish such things. That they should have a soul, however, cannot be concluded from these facts. God, who can endow with a soul whomever he wishes, may also give these people a soul, as he did to others. We mentioned the union between man and God, and that between nymphs and men, and yet they have not been born for the sake of the soul, but for the sake of the creatures, that God may be recognized the more marvelously in his creations. Not that God wanted souls that were giants, since one man is like another in the kingdom of God. This is why I still consider them beasts, whose soul is unknown to one, and although they have performed good deeds, yet I cannot feel that they were seeking salvation. This would be hard to believe, but rather that they acted like clever animals. Truly, if a fox or a wolf would speak, they would not be very different. One must concede a great deal to natural understanding that does not serve the purpose served by one who has a soul. I will repeat that. One must concede a great deal to natural understanding that does not serve the purpose served by one who has a soul. The forest people, that is, the air people, make the giants when they come together in intercourse, just as a conjunction produces a comet, an earthquake, or similar happening. When such a monster shall be born, it is not born following the course of nature, but against the rules. by special divine providence. There is no need to write about this here. Thus, these forest people join together and bear monsters, but we must write how and in what way. It cannot be understood except as a divine work, an order that can be explained only in analogy with astronomy when we remember the comets and the production of things that are not in the regular course of nature, yet are produced, such as the earthquake and similar happenings. They come and they do not recur for a long time. Thus, we must also understand the giants. They are produced in the same way by a constellation that is in men, not in heaven, for the heaven has nothing to do with the production of monsters such as these. The people are no concern to the heaven in its constellation, although they all live under the heaven and are confined by it, but they have a corpus, which is Latin for body, but they have a corpus and another chaos. Therefore, the heaven cannot impress anything on them, for it does not stick. I want to remind people now who are listening to that to refer to the other part 1 and part 2 of the Paracelsus treatise reading, and then he describes what the chaos is. We'll repeat, I'll start where I was. The people are no concern to the heaven and its constellation, although they all live under the heaven and are confined by it, but they have a corpus and another chaos. Therefore, the heaven cannot impress anything on them, for it does not stick. But if you can understand the natural course of the heaven, you can understand also an independent one, its rise, death, and decrease. Everyone must know that if a particular tall or very small person is born among us, this must not be attributed to the heaven, but to nature's own course. There is no need to write about this here. About the dwarfs, you must know that they are born from the earth mannikins in the mountains. Hence, they are not as tall as the giants, but rather smaller in the same proportion as the earth mannikins are smaller than the forest people. They are monsters also like the giants, and their birth must be understood the same way. So the dwarfs are monsters like the giants, even though they're short, and their birth must be understood the same way. Thus we can highly appreciate the words of Saint John the Baptist, who said to the Jews, "And think not to say within yourselves, because you are the children of Abraham, you can resist God and defy him, as if you were not his own, and he were nothing, as if he could not make other men. For I say unto you, that God is able of these stones to raise up a man." This must also be understood to mean that although we are from Adam, yet there are people who are not from Adam, such as giants and dwarfs, who are greater and stronger than we. It also means that if you shall not do honest work, God can exterminate you in the root and let you all dry out like a fruit on a tree and create other people thereafter. If it was possible for him to make Adam and his children from limus, which is Latin word for mud, it is also possible for him to make without limos other people, such as nymphs, giants, etc., and to populate and maintain his world with them. They stand as a warning that we are not alone and cannot force God. If he can do one thing, he can do another also. If he can make a man 7 feet long, he can also make him 20 or 30 feet long. This is apparent with the giants and similar beings, that they are all warnings to make us realize that God is the Lord who can do things and endow a being with a soul in one breath. To come to an end, know that such people, giants and dwarfs, may well make women from Adam pregnant, because same likes to meet same, and nature may permit it. Yet you must know that the monsters are not fertile, although they are monsters only so far as their strength and size is concerned. They are not misbuilt, but they have only one seed available, that is, they do not attain the third, fourth, etc. generation. Know also that when they get into mankind, the result is uncertain. If the child's body takes after the mother, it falls into her kind. If not, it becomes a beast like the father. I will repeat this. Know also that when they get into mankind, the result is uncertain. If the child's body takes after the mother, it falls into her kind. If not, it becomes a beast like the father. It is not possible for it to become a mixed being, because the seed of one of the two always prevails. Again, that's very important. It is not possible for it to become a mixed being, because the seed of one of the two always prevails. It happens otherwise that both become one seed, but here not. And if it were one seed, it would have to be qualified by the one partner who gives the soul. More is said about this subject in another philosophical treatise, and there is no need to tell it here. Their kind, however, has died out, and they have left no descendants to replace them. The comets likewise have no seed behind them, but come straight on and off at times, and at times up from below, all of a sudden, and then disappear. End of Tractatus 5 follows Tractatus 6 on the causes of such creatures. Now that we must reflect in terms of natural philosophy about the causes of these creatures, we must remember the facts, all the points, many of which have been discussed in the previous treatises. We need not repeat them here. Further causes that may be explored are these, namely that God has set guardians over nature for all things, and he left nothing unguarded. Thus, gnomes, pygmies, and many guard the treasures of the earth, the metals and similar treasures. Where they are, there are tremendous treasures in tremendous quantities. They are guarded by such people, are kept hidden and secret, so that they may not be found until the time for it has come. When they are found, people say, in times of old there used to be mountain mannikins, earth people here, but now they're gone. This means that now the time has come for the treasures to be revealed. The treasures of the earth are distributed in such a way that the metals, silver, gold, iron, etc., have been found from the beginning of the world on and are being discovered by and by. They are guarded and protected by these people so that they may not be found all at once, but one after another, by and by, now in this country, now in another. Thus the minds are shifted in the course of the time from country to country, and are distributed from the first day to the last. The same applies also to the fire people. They too are guardians of the fireplaces in which they live. In these places are treasures that others guard, are forged, prepared, made ready. When the fire is extinguished, it is earth mannikin's turn to be on guard. And after the earth mannikin's guard, the treasures are revealed. It is the same with the air people. They guard the rocks that lie on the surface, that have been made by the fire people and put at the place where they belong, from where they get into men's hands. They guard them so long until the time has come. Wherever there are treasures, such people are on hand. These are hidden treasures that must not be revealed yet, since they are guardians of such matters. They, here he means all the elementals we're just describing, all the spirit men. Since they are guardians of such matters, we can well understand that such guardians are not endowed with a soul, yet similar to and like men. The nymphs in the water are guardians of the great water treasures that lie in the sea and other waters, that have also been melted and forged by the fire people. It is therefore commonly understood that where nymphs are, there are considerable treasures and minerals and similar matters which they guard. This is apparent in many ways. The cause of the sirens, giants, dwarfs, also of the will-o-wisps, who are monsters of the fire people, is that they predict and indicate something new. They are not on guard, but signify that misfortune is threatening people. I will read that again. The cause of the sirens, giants, dwarfs, also of the will-o'-the-wisps, who are monsters of the fire people, is that they predict and indicate something new. They are not on guard, but signify that misfortune is threatening people. Thus, when lights are seen, it means the impending downfall of that country. That is, it commonly signifies the destruction of the monarchy and similar things. Thus the giants also signify great impending destruction of that country and land, or some other such great disaster. The dwarfs signify great poverty among the people in many parts. The sirens signify the downfall of princes and lords, the rise of sects and factions. For God wants us all to be of one essence. What is against it, he drops. What is against it, he drops. And when this is going to happen, signs occur. These beings are such signs as has been said, but not they alone. There are many more. You must know that the signs change each time. They do not appear in one way, but are hidden in our eyes. And finally, the last cause is unknown to us. But when the end of the world will come close, then all things will be revealed, from the smallest to the largest, from the first to the last. That everything has been and is, why it stood there and left, from what causes and what its meaning was. And everything that is in the world will be disclosed and come to light. Then the fake scholars will be exposed, those who are highly learned in name only, but know nothing by experience. Then the thorough scholars and those who are mere talkers will be recognized for what they are, those who wrote truthfully and those who traded in lies, the thorough and the shallow ones. And to each will be measured according to his diligence, earnest endeavor, and truth. At that place, not everyone will be or remain a master or even a doctor, because there the tares will be separated from the wheat. Tares is a Sanskrit word with many meanings. One of them is disease. Because there the tares will be separated from the wheat, and the straw from the grain. He who now cries will be quieted, and he who now counts the pages will have his quills taken away. And all things will be revealed before the day of judgment breaks. Order that it be found of all scholars, from the past to the very day, who had knowledge and who not, whose writings were right and whose wrong. Now, in my time, this is still unknown. Blessed will be the people in those days whose intelligence will be revealed, for what they produced will be revealed to all the people as if it were written on their foreheads. For that time I also recommend my writings for judgment, asking that nothing be withheld. Thus it will be, for God makes the light manifest, that is, everyone will see how it shone.